guys, how you doing? And welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at Greenstuff dead bodies, and this is an easy process. By using a press molding technique, you can pretty much create what you see down here at home by yourselves and make your display boards, make your bases that little bit more exciting with a lot more narrative on there. Okay guys, so let's just take a quick look. So here we have just a guy laying down, a spray paint laying down, face down in the dirt. Obviously he's been killed. Press molding is a beautiful technique that you can do, that can do all sorts of wondrous things. Capturing detail, like on the backpack here, if you can see that, all that detail on the backpack. You can create bits of rubble and stuff to stick in there and do all sorts of stuff. We've got another guy here that's obviously been killed, and he's got debris laying around him, and it's all about how you position stuff to make it look as realistic as possible. Let's have a look at this guy. This is exactly the same guy again, but we've wrecked it up a little bit. Let me just focus in on that. We've just sort of destroyed it a little bit just to make it look a little bit different to the other one. And the idea is not to have them all laying next to each other if they're similar. Now here we have one with his arm that's been ripped off or blown off, laying next to some rubble, covered in bits of crap and debris and stuff like that. It just gives it that extra feel to make it that little bit more exciting. And again, a smaller version of the large one that we've done here, with the guy just laying down, face down in the dirt. So I'm going to now show you how to do this, so you can do it at home and have fun creating all these beautiful narrative bases. Okay guys, so I'll see you in a second. Hi guys, how you doing, and welcome back. So we're going to be using a material called Super Sculpting. It is absolutely brilliant. So I'm just changing the lights then. It is absolutely brilliant for what we want to do. Now you don't have to use as large pieces as I have, like on these guys you can actually use quite a small piece, and the reason why I've gone for larger, because I want to be able to blend rubble into this, onto the board that I'm creating. So what do we got here? So Super Sculpting, you can buy this in most stores, you can buy it on Amazon, you can buy it on eBay. Really useful, fantastic stuff, especially if you're a sculptor. It comes in different colours, I think, and different densities. So grey being a thicker, stronger, more hardened use for sculpting and stuff, where this one's quite a bit more pliable, and plus you can stick them in the oven as well to harden them up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my marine and I'm going to start with the legs first. So I'm just going to place it in like so. Now I'm pushing down because obviously I don't want it to shift when I put the other stuff on. Now I'm going to take the upper body and I'm just going to push that in there. I want more of a sort of raised up look about it. Don't worry about having it look like it's half buried in there, because we're gonna play around with it in a second and just clean it up. Then I'm going to take his arm, which if you notice isn't stuck down. Now you can use a little bit of super glue just to put it in place, but that's just fine. And then we're going to take his other arm. Now I'm using the arm that has the hand ripped off, because I kind of like that. It's a good look, and that can go in just there, like so. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to place his hand here, like so. Now you're going to go, oh, but you've got the helmet to stick on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my glue, and for this I'm just going to be using good old-fashioned Vital Bond, which is this stuff here. Kind of like using it. I do like using mostly deluxe materials, but my favourite one I've just literally run out of, which is a bit of a pain. Now when you position your head, now you can either pin this or you can glue it in. I just put a little bit on just to glue it into place. Do remember that he's kind of leaning back, so you want to have that in the look of the helmet. So the neck should be, the head should be back a little bit, and the neck, can't even get it to stay in. That's what happens when you use one hand. You want to get the neck just in there like so, and the head tilted back just a little bit, because obviously he's got the backpack, he's got the collar on, and he's got a rather large helmet that basically will stop the head from tilting back too far. But at least we want to see some of the neck and we want to see some of the head. It's just composition, that's all it is. Okay, so we want to take some of our debris. So I've pre-made some debris here, and what we're going to do is we're just going to stick that in like so, just there. We're going to take some rocks, because it's always good to have, you need rubble, and that can go in there like so. And it's all about dressing the base just to make it look really, really exciting and different to everything else that you've done so far. Now I'm using this as a wider platform for the moulding process for the pure reason that I need to blend this in to the other stuff that I'm doing. We're also going to do one, I'm also going to do one where he's sitting upright as well. Now I'm going to take some of these bricks that I've got, and we'll be reviewing these at a later date because they're absolutely brilliant, and they really do look great when you need debris and stuff like that all piled in. Let's put some bricks in there, make the base look busy, always good. There we go, and let's put a bit more debris behind him. Okay guys, there you go. It's that simple. That's what it is, building a narrative on your base, telling a little story, and creating stuff. So when you put this up against that, for example, you can have a whole series of these dead guys like on your base when they've been mowed down. Originally I wanted to do a drop site massacre board, and these have been brilliant for the aftermath. Anyway, but you can even use these as markers and stuff like that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to use our moulding process, and we're going to do some moulding, and we're going to have a look at how that works as well. So I'll see you in a second. Hi guys, welcome back. Okay, so the next process is using Instamold. Now, you have to use very hot water, you have to use boiling water from a kettle. Instamold, I haven't got any strips that are prepared, but you can find it online. It's a really great stuff, it's really useful stuff for making moulds and stuff like that. And it's really cool for capturing really tight detail as well, if you know what you're doing. Okay, so now I've got some in some hot water at the moment. It's I gotta say it's really boiling. So I want you to be very careful when you take it out of the water, or when you're dealing with hot water. Make sure you've got like a pair of pliers or a pair of tongs that you can just pull the stuff out with. The great thing about Instamold is when you put it in hot water, it becomes very pliable, as you're going to see in a second. And the reason why I haven't got it underneath here, because it would just steam up the lens, and it's just brilliant. And now it's not really a trade secret, it's just really great stuff to use. So here we go, this is Instamold. Now you can tell I've been using this quite a bit because it's got bits of green stuff inside, and while I'm here I should really pluck it out. There's a good boy. Right, so we just take it as usual, sore throat. You just take it, you place it over the top, and you just gently push it around where we're going to be making our mould, and all the detail that we want to capture. Now what I normally do is round about now I quickly get a brush and I use the tip of it just to press down in and around the areas that I want to make sure I get all the detail with. So like for example, there's a rock just there, I want to be able to grab that, and we've got the hand on the floor, so we push around there, because what will happen is it will create ridges when you come to cast up your first piece, or any piece after that, because you haven't pushed it into the right. If you can hear that noise, that's a cat in the background. And because you haven't pushed it in, or you know, really sort of got it into the gaps and stuff like that, it basically doesn't capture the detail, all the detail that you need. So let's just push it in around there, in around there as well. It's a really easy process, and it's good for doing all sorts of detailing as well. And you're going to love this because when your friends see what you've done, they're going to be really jealous and want to do exactly the same. It's a nice easy process for capturing detail and making something look really great. Like I said, dressing a base, make your bases look at that a little bit more different. Narrative's important for any model, especially a wargaming model, I always feel, because they tell a story. There's a fantastic amount of fluff anyway in 40k, and it's nice to be able to capture that, especially for the heresy, in information that can be stored on the base. Brother versus brother, Marine versus Marine, Legion versus Legion, traitor versus loyalist. And if you can capture just that little part of the story and what you're doing, that is fantastic. Okay, so once we've got all that and we're happy with that, there's a lot of fiddly bits sort of like pushing down, and because the last thing we want to do is have these ridges, and the ridges are basically areas like there to there where we haven't flattened it down. All the detail that's in there will be lost, so we just need to make sure that we capture it. Now you've got a fair minute before this stuff goes off, and obviously I'm not doing this to sell, I'm doing this to dress my bases and make my boards look beautiful, because obviously you're making a mould. You also think about the legal implications, because you're making a mould of someone else's product, and for personal use I feel that's completely fine, because the last thing you want to be doing is ripping off someone's stuff and selling it off as your own, and because I don't like doing that, I'm just doing this for me. Okay, so here we are, it's all done. Now we leave this to set for like 2-3 minutes, make sure it's nice and hard, and you can generally, even now it's starting to go off, but I would just leave it 2-3 minutes. So let's come back in a minute and I'll see you soon. Okay guys, welcome back, and here we have it ready to go. Now it just looks like a cocoon piece or something from an Aliens movie. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to gently peel this off like so, and it should just come off with some minor alterations. Okay, so let's move this off, and the nice thing is you can keep using this and using this again, and there we have our mould. Now it's like I said, a nice simple process, and what we're going to do now is we're going to get our green stuff, and we're going to basically put it into some hot water that we've already got from when we did our mould. Now you're going to say, why put it in hot water? Because green stuff has to be kept wet when you're using it, because otherwise it sticks to your hands, it sticks to everything else, and it's much more pliable when you put it in warm water than it is when you put it in say cold water. Now warm water will make it easier to manipulate. Okay, so for this I'm just going to use one stick, because I'm doing some stuff with this that I need more than one stick. So let's just do it like that. Now, and plus look at that, if that was cold, that would be harder to mix up than it is already. Now, make sure you really go to town with the mixing on this, because it will go off a lot quicker, and that's what we want, because if you haven't, you're going to have streaks of blue, streaks of yellow in there where the putties just haven't mixed together, and then the trouble is with that, you just won't have a piece that's actually cured. Certain areas it would have cured and some of it wouldn't, so I'm just going to put that in some hot water again. Be careful, because it still will be hot from when you boiled the kettle, and just make sure you're careful when you're doing the Instamold stuff into hot water, because like I said, the kettle boils at a very high temperature, and the last thing I want you doing is burning your fingers. So make sure you have some sort of tool that you can push it down with and also get it out with. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm breaking this up into small sections, because what you're going to notice is if you put it in as one massive lump, you're not going to get all your detail captured. So I tend to break it up into little sausages where need be, or you make the piece fit the area that you need it for, and then that goes in there like so. And you just do that. It's a nice easy process. The great thing about this is that you can create a variety of different types of bodies and debris and bits and pieces to adorn your bases and boards, to make it that little bit different to everybody else's. Now that is the nice thing about the GW stuff, and I think with any miniature range, is painting it and designing it in a way that it's unique to everybody else's, and that's the important thing, because it just makes it much more fun. Now you're going to say you're going to use a lot of green stuff in this. Well, you are. I mean, for me, I need to do the edging and stuff like that, because as I said before, it gives me something for the boards to match to, and gives me areas that I can lap over the side with debris and stuff like that, because that's what I need for what I'm doing. But you can also just, if you wanted, just green stuff the marine in the centre. Now the reason why I put like debris and stuff around it, it just makes it look better, and it does a whole host of other things for you. Right, we're nearly there. And don't be afraid to push it into the gaps, because that's what it's there for. And then we're at the final stages. And then that's it. Just work my fingers for a second, because I want to make sure it gets all the way up in there, up into the head, because the last thing you need is the head not to come through. Okay, there we go. There we go. It's as simple as that. Now we're going to leave this to dry, leave it to set, and then we're going to come back to it when it's ready, and we're going to pop that bad boy out, and we're going to have a look at it. And this is where it goes terribly wrong. Okay guys, I'll see you in a second. Hi guys, and welcome back, and here we have our cocooned green stuff. I look so sick just like that. Okay, so here we have our cocooned green stuff. Now it's kind of solid. I'm happy to draw this out. It may go wrong, I don't know, but already it's looking kind of cool. So all you do is you just pop it out like so, and there you go. There is. Now we've got a bit, see what I mean by not getting it all the way in, you get that sort of detail, but that's not too bad. We can change that, and plus we can use that to advantage. I mean, we can make that into a wound, or we can put debris up the side of that, and play around with it. But generally what we've got there is what we're after, and that's come out pretty cool. I'm quite happy with that. So that's how you do it. It's that simple. Press moulding is the most simplest way of capturing detail, and a lot of people use it because it's a nice technique to use. Now it's not a trade secret, it's not anything anybody else can't do. It's that simple, anyone can do this, but it just adds to the feel of your vehicles. It gives you a sense of uniqueness to something that you're doing, very much like the Thunderhawk, and it really helps create something quite marvellous. So guys, there you go. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you soon. You be good and take care.